Guys, there you have it. He built it early in 2018, first lines of code, raised $2 million at VC and said, I really don't like raising money. I just want to build something cool. Let me go join someone who can do the money part for me. So he went into a publicly traded company. Now the tech's starting to take off. They've got a great team with Dasha and Nima working together to launch Toggle 3D. If you believe in the metaverse, if you believe in 3D objects, if you believe that the future of content is 3D and you really believe in AR, Toggle 3D is the pickaxe that they are going to sell to that gold miner, setting themselves up for success by now spinning out into their own publicly traded company. We'll see what happens next. Hey, folks, my guests today are Dasha and Nima. They were there on the ground floor at toggle3d.com, which is a 3D studio for everyone. Dasha and Nima, you ready to take us to the top?
Nice to meet you. Absolutely.
Nice to meet you too. So, Dasha, real quick, you're head of product, I believe, correct?
Yes, for Toggle 3D.
And Nima, are you your founder, CEO?
Yeah. I mean, we're incubating it inside the current place we are, but things may change, but as it is today, yes.
So what I'm hoping to learn from you guys is there's a lot of founders listening right now that get incubated inside of a corporation or an accelerator and then they want to spin it out. And there's a lot of challenges with that. So how are you guys doing this? Like, I guess let's start with when inside of the accelerator where you're being incubated, when was the first line of code written for Toggle 3D?
Yeah, I mean, the story is actually a little longer. I had a startup company called 3D.ai that the current company bought. And the gist idea of the story is that we want to make 3D content democratized and accessible because we think the world is 3D and your content needs to be 3D, especially for e-commerce and commercial stuff. That was the beginning of 3D.ai. But the tech.
What year was that though? Put it on timeline.
It was 2018.
Okay.
When we started, but the technology there turns 2D photos into 3D, and there's limitations with that, just with the AI and the rest of it. But I always thought that everything that's ever built is designed by someone, and oftentimes in CAD. So what if we give the tools? Eventually, I thought for this to really become really scalable, you got to give them the tools to do it. So when we were bought out, that was part of the.
So Nima, what year were you bought out?
2021.
Okay, and did you raise money at the company before you were bought out?
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
A couple of million, yeah.
Okay, so like 3 million, something like that?
Let's say 2.
Okay, and why sell? Why not just keep building that company?
Precisely because of what we're talking about. Because I could have gone and try to basically raise my own funding and do my own thing and IPO it. But the conversation we had with Evan, who's the CEO of Nextake, who bought us, the understanding was we come and we incubate it here and we spin it out as its own IPO company, and that's exactly what we're doing. So there's multiple paths you could do. Then that way I don't have to worry about financing. There was a great team, Josh included. We jumped in and we really built it up.
Well, but if 3D AI though was on a tear, I mean, you'd already raised money. You'd already raised $2 million of equity. If it was on a tear, you wouldn't have sold it. You would have just kept building. So what happened? I mean, was this really like an acqui-hire that you needed to sort of go in? And I mean, help me understand why you made that decision.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a massive buyout, but it was an acqui-hire either, right? We all made money. Investors made money, but again, the point is that this needed a VC. To be honest, that's really I guess that's what you're trying to figure out. There are people who, the question from VCs was, well, does everything need to be 3D? Do you need a 3D version of a toothbrush, commerce? Or is it just going to be about for AR, chairs and tables and whatnot, right? And it was really hard to convince them otherwise. So you needed someone who would back you and already believed that. And that's why kind of Evan and I clicked, right? But now that, I don't even want to say metaverse or whatever. Now it's pretty clear that the next version of doing commerce online is to have your products in 3D. It's just not about the AR where you put like a chair in the room or whatnot. Imagine you're an Alibaba seller that does B2B selling, and which is something we're going to target with Toggle as well. It's like, how do you present your product in a way that's interactive, immersive? People could turn it around, try it, and yes, AR is good. You could kind of transport it across the oceans and see it in that place. But even if you want to buy a toothbrush, but if you want to buy 100,000 of them, you do really want to see it in all its 3D glory. So, and that's exactly what's happening. It was hard to convince people to do that.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Just moving, I want to move past the acquisition to talk about the product today and how you guys plan to grow it and the spin out. But I believe based on my research, Nextech AR Solutions Group Corp, because they're semi-public here, they released the deal price was about 9.5 million in total share consideration is what they bought you guys for. You'd raised 2 million. So obviously now all that's inside one company, but now you're doing the opposite. You want to spin it back out. So why the decision to go in and now why the decision to come back out?
Well, that's just how you create value, right? So you could basically, I could have tried to raise, and I tried to raise, right? I mean, I didn't get the right terms I needed. You could have raised and basically built the same product we're building as a private company, right? Or you just basically get acquired, incubated here, and these things often don't work out, but it is working out right now. So I've seen incubation or whatever. It's a weird thing. There's a reason why there's VCs and whatnot. But what I learned is that there's a whole world of public markets where you could actually work with the other side of the coast to raise money, get the product out. It's not that different, but now we're going to IPO it right off of another public company, which would have been a lot harder doing a private.
But public shareholders of this company, if this is crushing it, would not want it to be spun out. Because then
so Nextech is going to be the biggest shareholder of Toggle. So it is actually creating value for the shareholders of Nextech.
Okay, but you said you did the deal because you didn't want to deal with private VCs. You couldn't convince them to raise money. So then that's why you joined. But do you feel like you can convince private investors to give you money if you're going to need it in the future?
Oh, we are. So when we're spinning out a company like Toggle, even if you're doing it as an IPO, you still need investors. And that's part of it.
I don't understand what you mean by that. What do you mean you're spinning it out as an IPO?
So Nextech is a public company, right? Yep. Listed on Canadian Securities Exchange. So we're going to IPO a new company, which basically spin out part of Nextech, but it's going to be its own public company, Toggle 3D, listed on the same exchange. And then about half or more of the shares of that company would be owned by Nextech,
I
basically.
see. Nima, why go through? I mean, Dasha, why go through all that? I mean, I've had folks, I have friends listed on the exchange, and they tell me that they spend sometimes up to $1 million a year on just admin fees of being public, right? You just got to check a bunch of boxes. Why? I mean, you guys aren't at $100 million bucks in revenue. I mean, why go deal with all that scrutiny?
Dasha, you want me to take it out?
Dasha, you want that one?
It's right back at you, Nima.
No,
All right,
no.
Nima,
So
you take it.
there are exchanges. It's a combination of things. So Canadian Securities Exchange has been really like they're meant for entrepreneurs. They're just another. Think of them as another way of. They're for the builders. This is not like a Nasdaq where you literally need to do.
There's still admin fees though, right? I mean,
There's
Nima, you're
still
going to
admin
spend
fees.
200, 300, 500 grand a year on admin stuff just for
There's,
because you're public.
well, there is still fees, but there's also the opportunities. You have the liquidity of the stock. At the same time, you don't have to go chase VCs every day, right? In theory, I mean, if your product is doing well, so it's just another path.
Yep.
And right now, like you really don't want to be out there in the VC land trying to chase money. So I'm pretty happy. Like I could not have done this if it was outside with the very same technology at all. It would have died.
Dasha, let's flip back over to you, the product, right? Because yes, there's the metaverse happening. There are crypto worlds being invented. There is VR and AR, all of which you guys are selling the pickaxe to the gold miner, right? I mean, it feels like that's what this could be here. Who's paying you today? Is it brands like, big Procter and Gamble brands doing the toothbrush team as example, or is it more like, the ape worlds being created in metaverse?
Yeah, so we're seeing a little bit of everything. With Toggle 3D, what we've done differently than what's out on the market right now is we've democratized that entire process of 3D modeling. What that means is, yes, we're still offering this tool to experienced 3D artists and manufacturers with CAD files, but we've also opened up the doors for people that have never 3D modeled before. But with this new rise of, as you said, the metaverse and these VR, XR experiences, this is a way for them to create that content. Something that we've been hearing a lot in the industry is the bottleneck behind all of these cool experiences is that content creation. So Toggle 3D opens up the doors for anybody to be able to create that content, whether that means it's populated in XR scenes, you're using it on your e-commerce site, you're using it for B2B sales. All of a sudden, everybody has the opportunity to create the digital version of what they see in the physical world.
This is very cool. And so what are you charging on average? What's the average customer pay you to use the tech?
Yeah, so we're still very new as a product. We're sort of in this beta phase, but the way that
Are you guys pre-revenue? Are you pre-revenue today?
We're starting to see it. We're starting to see it come in. So we have, I think actually explaining the pricing plan might help answer this question a little bit because we've divided up the platform today into two major pricing plans. The first one is completely free. So with a lot of these disrupting technologies we see in the market, that's what helps us really reach virality is to let people have access to the platform, limit the amount of access in terms of the amount of projects they can create, upload size, limit some features, all that good stuff, but give them enough so they can try the platform, ultimately fall in love with it and continue being a user that will hopefully upgrade and continue using Toggle in their everyday creation. So with that, we have that upgraded plan. We have the pro plan.
Well, hold on. So on the free plan, real quick, on the free plan, how many creators invented at least one 3D object in Toggle 3D over the past 30 days?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have it for the 30 days, but since we've released it in beta end of September, we have about 145 users on the platform today. And I want to say about 85% of them have made a 3D model and published a project.
That's very cool. Okay, so 145 since September 2022, 83 of them were active, so more than a 50% activation rate, which is great. As head of product, this is the key thing, right? Onboarding. What do you know you've got to get a new sign up to do in the first 30 days for them to become an addicted user that use you every day with their whole team?
Yeah, so the first thing is you have to upload a file. So you have to upload a file, you have to get your object into the design scene. And what's really cool about Toggle is we start from CAD files. So ultimately, we're prompting the user to upload a CAD file and convert it into a web-friendly format, because it's not like you can just upload a CAD file anywhere today. No matter if it's 3D or 2D, they're very heavy files. A lot of these softwares won't support it. The web will definitely not support it. So we are doing this conversion process where we're converting it into a web-friendly format, easy to use, and now very easy to distribute among all these uprising platforms in the XR world.
I love this. We have about 3 minutes left, folks. So help me out here, Dasha, real quick. The paid plans, what do those look like?
Yeah, so the play plans will give you everything that we have to offer today at Toggle 3D, all the cool features, more designs, and we are seeing people try it out. So we're seeing people try it out. We're seeing people convert.
Dasha, come on, talk money to me. What's the price?
$29 a month.
Okay, $29 a month, and is that for unlimited objects, unlimited uploading of file sizes?
Yeah, unlimited designs. We do have a file size restriction of 75 megabytes right now. We're growing that, so it won't be a limitation forever. But right now, yeah, unlimited designs. You can.
And it's per seat, right? 29 per seat.
29 per seat. You can export as much as you want off the platform. We're really creating some value here.
That's exciting. Okay, that's super cool. And last couple of questions here. Total team size today, just working on Toggle 3D. How many folks, Nima?
I guess Dasha knows better. But,
okay, Dasha, how many?
Yeah, so we have about 10, under 10.
10. Okay. And I guess last question here, my audience will be wondering about, how do you guys decide, Dasha, how much equity you own? Nima, how much equity do you own? How much does Nexstar keep? Like when you spin out, how do you decide, make all those decisions?
It's been done before inside Nextech. So we spun out pretty successfully another company called ARWay out of Nextech. It created a lot of value for Nextech shareholders. It's its own thing. Just it's been only like a month or 2 months that I think it's valued maybe at 35 million or something. So there's almost a structure that is, so Evan, who's the CEO of Nextech, but we've been through this once and we're just following the same playbook.
And what is Nexstar's total revenue? It's public. I just don't know it.
Honestly, I don't want to say something that I know it's public, but it's tens of millions, but
tens of millions. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're spinning it out. So this is great. So listen, guys, help my audience out. If they want to go explore the product a little bit, where can they find you guys online?
Toggle3D.com.
Toggle3D.com. Guys, there you have it. He built it early in 2018, first lines of code, raised $2 million at VC and said, I really don't like raising money. I just want to build something cool. Let me go join someone who can do the money part for me. So he went into a publicly traded company. Now the tech's starting to take off. They've got a great team with Dasha and Nima working together to launch Toggle3D. If you believe in the metaverse, if you believe in 3D objects, if you believe that the future of content is 3D and you really believe in AR, Toggle3D is the pickaxe that they are going to sell to that gold miner, setting themselves up for success by now spinning out into their own publicly traded company. We'll see what happens next. Dasha, Nima, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you. With a pleasure. Thanks.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.